All right, stop. Before you even say, man, I don't own any of these. So you're saying I'm not a man? I'm not saying you're not a man if you don't own any of these, or you have to have all 5 of these to be a man. But I'm just saying, like, right now in this time period in 2023, these are some of the best sneakers right now to cop. And you know, if you're a man or a woman, this is 5 sneakers that every guy and girl should own. I actually forgot to make this video back in 2022, so it's very important that we pop it off this year in the beginning of 2023 with these 5 sneakers. So let's go. We gotta go ahead and start off right off the rip with the most obvious in my opinion, and that is the Air Force One. The white Air Force One, preferably for me. You know, this is a shoe that you can rock, get a couple of rocks in. If you keep them clean, you can get more than, you know, your average. But there's also other colorways out there that can get things a little bit more spicy for you when it comes to the Air Force One. I think the Lucky Green joints. I've owned the Acorns. I own these. I own a couple other ones. These right here, the Skeleton Halloween joints. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different Air Force Ones out there that you can go into any direction that you kind of want to when it comes to it. And the price point of that, I think they actually went up now, right? They were initially like 90. Now I think they're 100 or 110. The Air Force One in general has went up in a price hike recently. So they're a little bit more expensive. I think $10 more expensive than they used to be. However, you can't go wrong with a fresh pair of Air Force Ones or a black pair of Air Force Ones if you're on demon time. I think this, out of all the shoes, is like the more or the most must have, the Air Force One. By the way, these are not in any shape or form in a particular order. Next up, we have the Nike Air Max, and I have here the Nike Air Max 1. This is one of my favorites. The 95, the 98, the 91, some of the most iconic sneakers out there, but this is where it started. And this in particular could be replaced by any Air Max out there. I'm basically saying that an Air Max in the collection is a must-have. It's a comfortable shoe that you can go running with if you want to use it for more of a workout type of ordeal, something more casual, stylish. You know, I've seen people wear blazer tops and khaki pants, full on, you know, business casual, and throw on a pair of Air Maxes on the bottom of their feet and keep it moving, specifically the Air Max 1. This is the original color, the original Dundada in white and red. There's also the white and blue, but there's also plenty of different Air Max model and variations out there that you're pretty much covered at the end of the day when it comes to this. This shoe, once again, is very, very obtainable along with the Air Force One. Maybe not this specific model and colorway because this is the OG, and these drop every once in a while. They come back too. But an Air Max in general, an all white, all black, different colors, whatever you want. Air Max Reacts, Air Max 2000, Air Max 95, 98. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So they're not hard to find. An Air Max in the collection, a necessity for me. Next up, we have the Nike Dunk. Now, in this particular one, we have the Nike Dunk Low Panda. These are probably one of the most sought after Nike Dunks in general. The Nike Dunk Low, you know, the Nike Dunk Low version more specifically, because the high is very easily obtainable now. They sell out, but you can catch them on restocks after another, after another, after another. Like at this point, somebody might be mad that like I posted this one particularly because this one is the more harder one to get, but this one is being restocked each and every week. But I'm not, once again, just talking about this specific color. A Nike Dunk in general. There's Nike Dunk sitting every time I go to Soul Play. The Nike Dunk Lakers, the Nike Dunk Knicks. There's a black and purple version out right now. There's an all black one that has a white swoosh. That's pretty much like kind of switched on this type of ordeal. The Nike Dunk in general is very similar to the Air Force One when it comes to customization and different colorways out there. Whether you like the low top or a high top, you really can't go wrong. These right here, one of my favorite, and this is a high top version. I have not worn this version yet, but this was a pair that's been sitting around at local stores everywhere I go. So you might see a Dunk and say, oh man, this is just only hype stuff. No, Dunks are not like the hype stuff that everybody's talking, that's long gone. You can get Dunks now sitting at pretty much any store if you just really look, you know, hard, or online. I'll try to link down below in the description where you can find some Dunks right now online for retail, okay? It might not be the ones you want, but they're there. They're there. Probably the most expensive on the list is the Jordan 1 in general. Now this Mocha, yeah, you know, it might be a little bit more expensive, but we just had recently the True Blue one that just dropped. Those right now are still sitting in stores, retail price point of $180. If you want a pair of Jordan 1s, right now is the time to get your hands on it. Pick the pair you want, pick the color you want, because they are very easy to obtain. The Jordan 1, I believe they're the Gorge Green or the George Green. I think it's the Gorge Green that recently released. Those are still sitting on shelves. Taxis are still sitting in various places places. I've seen them, at least in GS size, true blues. Multiple different colorways of Jordan 1s are still available and sitting on shelves. If you guys don't believe me, go to my whatnot on the 26th and I'll have some available for you, okay? It's always there, they're always there. But with that being said, 180, 170, depending on what pair you end up getting. They're all 180 right now, really, but you can get yourself a pair of Jordan 1s very easily now for retail. It's the opportunity to make it happen. And you know, we have the Dunk and the Air Force One that are very similar in style, but one's a Jordan, one's a Dunk, and one's an Air Force One. They're all Nike, I understand, but Nike's just killing it right now. So it is what it is. The Jordan 1, a must-have for me. And last but not least, we have the New Balance, and this specifically is the New Balance 650. The New Balance 550 might have been on my previous list, but I'm really digging the 650 right now. The 650 is retailing at $140, and these gained popularity out of the Amy DeLeon, ADL collaboration, and I'm pretty sure I said her name wrong, but the collaboration that dropped in their version of the 650. Now, there is now available on a massive scale just the inline version of that model in the 650 in white, this white and gray, there's a white with a gray bottom. There's just so many different variations, black and red, variation colorways of this New Balance 650 sitting right now. Now you might want a low top version and go get the 550, or you might want just a regular New Balance out there. New Balances get a little hefty in price. The retail on like a the original Dundadas are like $160, $180. These are $140. It's a more nostalgic vintage type of model, and I just like the high top look on these. Some people like Nike Dunk Lows. I like the high tops a little bit more. I like these a little bit more than the low version. And this is a nice neutral pair that I have in my collection, and you can't really go wrong. And $140, you know, it puts you at one kind of on the lower end of these shoes, because the Air Maxes, maybe it's like right up, it's probably the next up actually from the Jordan 1. I ain't even gonna cap. However, classic, nice look, and one of my favorites on the list. Now I know there's no Adidas, you know, I mean, right now Yeezys are kind of falling down. Now, I would like to add a slide in here, but the slides are not technically sneakers, and I know I would get some people mad, so I stayed away from it. Just right now with Adidas in general, there hasn't been a model out there that's been hitting. One I will give an honorable mention to is the Adidas 85 Forum, or 84 Forum, I believe these are. And this is like a vintage look kind of the Forum in general. I picked this one up, and this is one of my favorite shoes right now in my collection. However, they haven't really dropped many colorways of it. They dropped a few, but not too many. This one I picked up though, I've worn it, and I like them a lot. So honorable mention goes to Adidas on this particular pair. But I know that Adidas is trying to find the next big thing, and we'll just have to wait and see what that is. So let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. If you only own one of these, you're still a man or a woman. If you don't own any of these, you're still a man or woman, okay? I want to make a video. Can I just do that? Thank you. All right, I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.